talk about some horror. Barbarian, probably one of my favorite horror films of the year. We are going to go into spoilers, so block your ears if you want to see it, Russell. But Jesse, what are your thoughts on Barbarian?
Yes.
Would you agree with me? One of the best horror films of the year?
Oh, yes. Without a doubt. One of the best. And I think it's, I don't know if you agree or disagree with me here, Maddie, but I feel like it's been one of the best years for horror in a very long time. I mean, we had this movie, we had Black Phone, we had Smile.
Yeah.
It's just been a good year for horror, I reckon.
Got a lot of bodies.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like Bodies as much. It was okay.
But it was, it got a lot of acclaim though. So
it got a lot of acclaim, yes.
And Nope, Jordan Peele, Nope.
I haven't seen Nope, so...
Nope's great. Nope's good.
But Barbarian, yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I loved it. The build-up, the suspense, the acting. You know, actually, Russell, I'm about to spoil something, so if you want to close your ears, you know when they kill the actor that plays Pennywise within the first 45 minutes, you know you're watching a fucked up horror movie.
Yes. Yes.
So I love the whole concept, like just this underground base just from years ago, and they're just trying to discover what's going on, and it just gets more fucked up. And like they see the bed and the camera at first with the blood, and they're like, oh fuck, what's this? And then it's just really good. I was engaged all the way. The only thing I would say, the ending got a little bit B movie cheese, especially when the creature jumps off the water silo. Do you remember that shot, Matt?
Yeah.
She just just dives down towards the main character, and
there's like some dodgy green screen effects going on there. And the whole movie up until that moment was like pretty believable to some extent for me. And
except for the fact that inbreeding caused this giant, violent woman monster thing to be created. Besides that, it was pretty believable.
But the woman monster thing looked pretty good. Like
it did.
I think it was pretty practical. I think I used a lot of practical effects, I believe. I could be wrong. It looked practical to me. I thought that looked really aesthetically. It looked, well, I guess aesthetically it's ugly as shit, but aesthetically it looked good in a realistic type of sense.
But yeah, I love this movie. I would possibly one of my favorites of this year, if I'm going to be honest. And I loved the Justin Long character is like the douchiest fucking character ever, and but he just played it so well. You just enjoyed watching him. He just tore up the screen. You could tell he was like really getting into this character and loving it, and he was just very enjoyable to watch. Even though you watch him like, man, you're a scumbag, but I love watching you, you know.
It's so against the type for Justin Long. Like it's the complete opposite of who he is in Dodgeball. But that scene where he's on the phone and he drops the F word, like, what up? Word. I was like, whoa, he said the F word in 2022. Whoa, that is a choice. But, you know, it's who his actor is, who his character is. So it makes sense. Look, I usually hate it when a film starts on one premise and then like partway through completely change what the premise is. I usually really, really hate that. For some reason it works for me. So apparently, the director, I forget his name, but he used to be part of a sketch group called The Whitest Kids You Know. So another comedian gone horror right there for you. But apparently he was inspired by like a book about like just the little things women have to look out for from men that are, you know, like red flags in order for their safety and stuff. And you really feel that in like the first half hour or so of the film. Can she trust this guy?
Because you think Bill Skarsgård's secretly going to kill her or is going to do something. but he's just very awkward, socially awkward.
Yeah.
And he's saying the right things, but it's just coming across as a bit awkward. And you're like thinking, oh, is he all right?
Is he a killer or is he just some guy?
And then it just turns out he's just some dude. And then, so you did get that sense. You just didn't know what he was about. And,
but then 30 minutes or so into the film, the premise changes when they discover this barbaric monster that's under the house, which really took me for a ride. And I think in movies like Michael Bay's reboot of Friday the 13th, where the cast completely changed halfway through. I hate it when movies do that. But
did you like Cabin in the Woods?
Ooh.
That's technically a premise shift. I think it's an excellent movie. But...
You know what? I like it less than most people. I know a lot of people love that movie. I don't hate it, but I don't know. That movie didn't stick with me the way it did for other people. But this movie really pulls it off. And I love this concept. I think it's really interesting it's a monster that isn't trying to kill people. It wants to be a mother. It wants to take you and take care of you. And
I don't know. It killed Bill Skarsgård pretty quickly.
Well, I find out what makes him the exception, and I think maybe it's because he attacked her or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, because I didn't understand that, because it's he tells, I can't remember the main character's name, but he tells her that she bit me.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, okay, so did she bite him and then run away, or did she bite him and he fought her off and then crawl back with something? Or
I think he fought her off or something, but it could be a few things. One, she refuses to go into the room where the father guy grandpa is.
Yes.
She's scared of that room. She's scared of him. So maybe he was near that. But I think it was more when they first get captured and she's like, oh, just play along and you won't get hurt type thing. So I think maybe you got to think it's not very smart as well. So I think if it's like an animal, if you anger it, it can attack you type thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's no a lot of, I don't think this creature is something you can reason with and have logic with. So if you came there and you were kind of friendly, it would probably just cradle you in its arms and rockabye baby. But he probably got all defensive and probably scared.
Oh, with the milk bowl, bro, I was
very disgusting.
But when she took Justin Long into that room and started breastfeeding him, there was a scene they filmed, but they cut because they thought it was too much, where she grabbed a mouse or a rat, started chewing it in her mouth, and then feeding it to Justin Long like a mother bird feeds to its baby.
I'm glad they tucked that. That's
and they
gross.
Filmed it. Justin Long was game for it. They filmed it, but they cut it out of the final film, which I thought was amazing. So
that's wild.
I don't care. This was that creature was Deliverance on steroids. There's no way knowing inbreeding causes a 7 foot tall creature like that with superhuman strength. I went with it. I went with it. I still love the movie, but I just thought it was interesting. That's the explanation they gave for the creation of this thing.
I wonder if it's meant to tie into the themes of motherhood or something, but it could also just be we just need a quick excuse to why there's a creature down there.
Yeah.
But I believe the term barbarian is meant to refer not just to the mother, but I think the guy who started it all, but also I think Justin Long's character, because he's clearly he's raped someone. He's a scumbag. He's
when you first hear about it, you're thinking, oh, is he gonna have a redeeming quality where it's like a redeeming arc where it's he didn't actually rape her or whatever,
yeah.
And then he calls up his mate to go for a drink, and he explains to his mate what happened. You're like, oh no, you are done something that you should not.
You're just a shitty person. and then at the end, what's he say? He's What does he? Oh, he throws the girl off the.
He throws her off the water
no.
silo.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. That's who he is. Any other thoughts?
I gotta admit, as bad as this sounds, I gotta admit, this scene where the homeless man or the older guy takes him into the shelter and explains to him what's going on and dumbs down what's everything, and they're like, "Oh, we're safe here," and then he goes, "Yeah, we're safe. Like, I've lived around here for 15 years. She's never come in here." And then the second later, she just bursts through the wall and then rips his arm off and beats him to death with his arm. I kind of laughed there.
Dude, that's the first rule of horror movies. You don't say you're safe. And yeah, he broke the first rule. What I will say is, I did like is, because she was down there for weeks and she gets out and goes to the cops and they think she's a crackhead. I kind of like, look, those cops are straight up fucked. Like, they should have done something. But like, I kind of think it was, the writers did a good job of setting that up and to make that believable. So I think a lot of films where like, oh, God, believe me, there's a monster. Yeah, whatever, lady. Sometimes it's like, it's not that believable, but they spend a lot of time setting up that the area is really shit. There's a lot of crackheads around there. And then she's all disheveled and stuff when she sees them. So it's kind of believable. So I feel like brownie points to them for kind of getting that right.
And it's a really sketchy area of Detroit, I think. So they probably just think, oh, this is just another person on drugs or something like that. Or, which, by the way, did she not see the surrounding area where she's getting the Airbnb when she? I
mean, yeah, I wouldn't have booked that Airbnb personally, but that's just me. I would look for the pictures. I'll look at the pictures next time.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or comments on Barbarian before we move on?
No, fantastic. But I just want to say, fantastic movie. Loved it. I'll watch it again. I really enjoyed it. It was up there with one of my favorites this year.
Same. Very good.